Chicago
They-
Emergency, William.
I just see the police to come by. He went to Subway. He was walking by, and some guys, I don't know, they jumped him or something like that. And I just want to report it and make sure he's all right. What's really weird, man, just because I'm scared, I don't know what it is. They put a noose around his neck.
Chicago, January 29, 2019. It was bitterly cold, the kind of night when most people avoided the streets entirely. But at 2 a.m., a 911 call came in from the city's affluent Streeterville neighborhood. On the other end of the line was Jussie Smollett, an actor and singer best known for his role on the hit Fox television drama Empire.
We're a family. We stick together.
Smollett told police he had just been attacked. Two masked men, he said, had ambushed him while shouting racist and homophobic slurs. They doused him with an unknown chemical, later believed to be bleach, and looped a rope around his neck. He even claimed that as they fled, they yelled, "This is MAGA country!" Details were explosive. Here was a black, openly gay actor reporting a violent hate crime that seemed ripped from the headlines of America's culture wars. The public reaction was swift. Politicians like Kamala Harris and Cory Booker called it a modern-day lynching, with Booker tweeting, "The vicious attack on actor Jussie Smollett was an attempted modern-day lynching. I'm glad he's safe." And Harris following up with, "This was an attempted modern-day lynching. No one should have to fear for their life because of their sexuality or color of their skin. We must confront this hate." Celebrities, activists, and fans alike voiced outrage and solidarity. The story dominated news cycles and was framed as an attack not only on one man, but on an entire community. To understand why Smollett's case resonated so strongly, it's important to know who he was at the time. Born in 1982 in Santa Rosa, California, Jussie Smollett had spent much of his life in entertainment. He began as a child actor in films like The Mighty Ducks before moving into adult roles. By 2015, he had gained widespread recognition playing Jamal Lyon on Empire, portraying a young gay musician navigating family conflict, fame, and prejudice. Smollett's performance earned praise for authenticity. Off-screen, he was also outspoken about LGBTQ+ rights and racial justice. By early 2019, he was not yet a household name, but he was well known in Hollywood and admired by fans. In the weeks before the alleged attack, Smollett also received a threatening letter at the Fox studio where Empire was filmed. It contained a drawing of a stick figure with a noose around its neck and appeared to contain white powder, later determined to be aspirin. The FBI was called in to investigate the letter, though no one was ever charged in connection with it. Smollett was ambitious. He was working on music, acting, and trying to expand his career. In many ways, he seemed poised for greater stardom. But everything would change on that freezing night in Chicago, when a single phone call set off a scandal that would dominate headlines for years to come. According to Smollett's account, he left his apartment shortly after 2 a.m. to buy food at a nearby Subway. On his way back, he said two men attacked him. They shouted racial and homophobic insults, struck him, poured liquid on him, and slipped a rope around his neck. He returned to his apartment still wearing the rope, which police noted when they arrived. Smollett said he left it on so officers could see what had happened.
Okay. Do you want to take it off or anything?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted to see.
1872, Robert?
Shows transported one female official detention.
Bleach on me. They poured bleach on me.
Okay.
1872, Robert.
You're filming us, right?
Yeah, this is all being audibly and visually recorded.
It's
in
this
this house.
They're filming you. Like audio. That I guess when they didn't know they were walking, I said I don't want to be filmed. Okay, so can we turn it off?
Yeah.
Chicago detectives quickly opened a hate crime investigation. The case drew national headlines. It seemed to many like a shocking confirmation of rising hate in America.
A dozen detectives are working around the clock investigating an alleged racial and homophobic attack on Empire actor Jussie Smollett.
The alleged attack was seen as part of a broader trend. FBI statistics at the time showed hate crimes were climbing nationwide. But almost immediately, questions emerged. Chicago is one of the most heavily surveilled cities in the United States, with thousands of cameras. Yet police could not find footage of the attack itself. What they did find was video of two men walking nearby, Abimbola and Olabinjo Osundairo, brothers of Nigerian descent who had worked as extras on Empire and knew Smollett personally.
There is no doubt in your mind what motivated this attack.
I could only go off of their words. I mean, who says Empire, this MAGA country, ties a noose around your neck and pours bleach on you?
Initially, speculation mounted that the brothers had attacked him. But when police questioned them, the story shifted dramatically. The Osundairos claimed Smollett had orchestrated the entire assault. They said he paid them $3,500 to stage the attack so he could generate publicity and strengthen his bargaining position with Fox during contract negotiations. Investigators recovered receipts showing the brothers purchased items used in the attack: rope, ski masks, and gloves. They also obtained a personal check from Smollett to Abimbola Osundairo. Prosecutors said it was payment for the staged attack, though Smollett insisted it was for personal training services. Public opinion flipped almost overnight. The actor, once seen as a courageous victim, was now portrayed as a manipulator willing to exploit the nation's divisions. Headlines that had once called for justice now questioned whether the entire story had been fabricated.
I'm pissed off. It's like, you know, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth.
But this was only the beginning. As the investigation deepened, shocking twists would push the case into uncharted territory.
They wanted me to give my phone to the tech for 3 to 4 hours. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna do that.
On February 20th, 2019, Smollett was indicted on 16 counts of felony disorderly conduct for filing false police reports. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson delivered a fiery press conference.
Why would anyone, especially an African-American man, use the symbolism of a noose to make false accusations? So I'm offended by what's happened, and I'm also angry. I love the city of Chicago and the Chicago Police Department, warts and all. But this publicity stunt was a scar that Chicago didn't earn and certainly didn't deserve.
But in March 2019, in a stunning reversal, Cook County prosecutors dropped all charges in exchange for Smollett performing community service and forfeiting his $10,000 bond. The decision sparked outrage.
First of all, I want to thank my family, my friends, the incredible people of Chicago and all over the country and the world who have prayed for me, who have supported me, who have shown me so much love. No one will ever know how much that has meant to me, and I will forever be grateful. I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I have been accused of. This has been an incredibly difficult time, honestly one of the worst of my entire life. But I am a man of faith, and I'm a man that has knowledge of my history, and I would not bring my family, our lives, or the movement through a fire like this. I just wouldn't.
Then Mayor Rahm Emanuel called it a whitewash of justice and said Smollett owed an apology to the entire city.
Gay men and women who will come forward and one day say they were a victim of a hate crime who now will be doubted. People of faith, Muslim or any other religious faith, who will be a victim of hate crimes. people that of all walks of life and backgrounds, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation. Now this casts a shadow of whether they're telling the truth, and he did this all in the name of self-promotion. And he used the laws of the hate crime legislation that all of us collectively over years have put on the books to stand up to be the values that embody what we believe in. This is a whitewash of justice. Our officers did hard work day in and day out, countless hours, working to unwind what actually happened that night. Because of the judge's decision, none of that evidence will ever be made public. None of it. This is without a doubt a whitewash of justice and sends a clear message that if you're in a position of influence and power, you'll get treated one way, other people will be treated another way. There is no accountability then in the system. It is wrong, full stop.
Many accused the prosecutor's office of mishandling the case, and the public was left deeply divided. However, in another turn of events, in 2020, Special Prosecutor Dan Webb was appointed to re-examine the case. Webb, a respected former U.S. attorney, presented the evidence again to a grand jury, which indicted Smollett on 6 new counts of disorderly conduct. This time, there would be no abrupt dismissal. The case went forward to trial. The trial began in late November 2021. Prosecutors argued that Smollett staged the attack for attention and sympathy and to leverage better pay on Empire. The Osundairos testified under oath, detailing how Smollett allegedly rehearsed the incident with them, down to which slurs to yell and how to fake the assault without causing serious injury. Smollett took the stand in his own defense, denying he staged anything and insisting he was the victim of a real attack. He claimed that the $3,500 check written to Abimbola Osundairo was for personal training, not for staging an assault. He pointed to his history of activism and openness about his sexuality as evidence that he would not fabricate a hate crime. Smollett accused the brothers of lying, suggesting they had financial motives and personal grudges. He also argued that details like the rope and bleach were either exaggerated by the police or planted by the brothers, challenging the credibility of the receipts and surveillance footage presented. In his version, the Osundairos attacked him out of homophobia and for financial reasons. The trial captivated the public. It was a rare case where the defendant himself testified at length, putting his credibility directly before the jury. On December 9, 2021, after 9 hours of deliberation, the jury returned its verdict. They found Smollett guilty. Guilty on 5 of 6 counts of felony disorderly conduct, charges that stemmed from separate police statements he had made about the alleged attack. The single acquittal involved 1 count tied to a particular police report. The verdict reflected that while the jury agreed he fabricated key elements of the attack, they did not find enough evidence to convict on every single allegation. The split outcome underscored the complexity of the case and allowed both sides to claim partial vindication. Prosecutors emphasizing the guilty counts, and Smollett's defense pointing to the acquittal as evidence that the jury did not fully buy the prosecution's narrative. In March 2022, Judge James Lynn handed down the sentence.
I'm sentencing you to 30 months felony probation, and the probation is going to be to this court. You're going to be allowed to travel wherever you want. You do not have to live in the state of Illinois. You can report by phone. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106. You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine. And you will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail. And that will start today, right here, right now.
150 days in jail, 30 months of probation, more than $120,000 in restitution to the city, and a $25,000 fine. Lynn told Smollett, "You've destroyed your life as you knew it. You've embarrassed your family. You've embarrassed your colleagues. You've embarrassed the community. For you to have stood up and faked a hate crime is just shameful."
You've embarrassed your valuable friends in high places, the elected public officials, people in the media. You've become toxic in your own workplace. Your very name has become an adverb for lying, hoaxing, or faking homophobic hate crimes. I think that is disgraceful. There's some conjecture you did it for the money. Frankly, I do not believe that you did it for the money. The only thing I can conclude is that, and I acknowledge, there are wonderful sides to you. There are very giving and charitable and loving sides to you. But you have another side of you that is profoundly arrogant and selfish and narcissistic. That's the only thing that can be concluded.
In a dramatic courtroom moment, Smollett shouted, "I am not suicidal. I am innocent." His words reverberated far beyond the courtroom, becoming one of the defining images of the case.
I am not suicidal. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this, and I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself, and you must all know that.
In the aftermath of his conviction, Smollett's career collapsed. Fox announced that his role on Empire would be reduced and later written out entirely. What had once been a breakthrough role in mainstream television ended abruptly, leaving Smollett's future in Hollywood uncertain. But even after the verdict, the saga was far from over. Smollett's fight for his freedom and his reputation was only beginning. The legal battle continued. In December 2023, the Illinois Appellate Court upheld his conviction. But in November 2024, the Illinois Supreme Court overturned it, ruling that the original 2019 dismissal functioned as a binding resolution. Trying Smollett again, the court said, violated his right to due process. The ruling did not declare him innocent. It vacated his conviction on a legal technicality. Special Prosecutor Dan Webb criticized the decision, arguing it set a dangerous precedent and undermined public trust. And so, in May 2025, Smollett reached a civil settlement with the city of Chicago, agreeing to donate $60,000 to local charities in exchange for dismissal of the city's lawsuit, seeking reimbursement for investigative costs. He continued to deny staging the incident, telling interviewers he still lived with the trauma of that night.
And I don't want to have a felony on my record for something that I didn't do. It would be easier if I had in fact done this to say that I did it. I wouldn't have spent almost $3 million of my own money. I would not have had a trial, no matter how much people are yelling in my face saying, "You're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar." No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Beyond the legal fight, the cultural fallout was immense. Smollett's case became a lightning rod in America's ongoing battles over race, sexuality, politics, and the media. Critics argued he had harmed the credibility of real victims of hate crimes, who might now face greater skepticism. Advocates countered that the backlash showed how quickly the public and the press can turn on marginalized voices. The case also fueled political debates. Conservatives used it as evidence of liberal media bias and opportunism, while progressives grappled with how to handle a story that had initially been embraced as proof of systemic hate. And though the legal chapter appeared to close, the shadow of the case continued to loom large. For many, the Smollett saga symbolized the complexities of truth in the modern media age. Today, Jussie Smollett remains defiant. In interviews, he says he feels insecure meeting new people, afraid of being judged for something he insists he did not do. He maintains he was the victim of a real attack, not the architect of a hoax. To his supporters, he is a wronged man, a scapegoat caught in a politically charged storm. To his critics, he is a fraud who cynically exploited America's deepest wounds for personal gain. The debate over his story has not faded, and perhaps it never will. And so the question remains: was Jussie Smollett truly the victim of a vicious hate crime, or the architect of one of the most infamous hoaxes in modern history? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out our other true crime documentaries featured on screen now.